There are really a large amount of exciting games on Judgment Day, to be honest, and I think maybe that's where I initially fell in love with it. But again, it wasn't played a lot in Pro League. So it's a 4-spawn map. You can spawn at the top left, top right, bottom left, or bottom right. And so let's just go ahead and say, as a Protoss player, you're just kind of observing this map for the first time. And where is your exit? If you go up here, you can see that you have your initial exit here with a kind of a smallish choke point. And then you have your large exit here, which is a little bit more difficult to wall off and defend. And so when you think in terms of like versus Zerg, you know, where am I going to put my forge? Where can I combine my gateway and pylon here too to make this wall as efficient as possible to protect not just this base, but this base here too. Of course, we're versus Terran, so it's a little bit different. If I'm a Protoss player and I'm thinking, okay, which base is actually the most valuable base, you may actually want to expand your natural to this base location up here because it has the gas and it gives you the faster access to it. But you could also counter that argument with, well, you know, you could secure this base up here, take the third base with the gas a little bit later, and just kind of build with your Nexus and your wall off at the front. But I really think when you're going to go into PvT, and well, hello KT Maui and Modesty, welcome to the cast. I really think, in my opinion, if you're going to go on this map as a Protoss player versus Terran, that you'd want to take this first, because having that natural gas is really important. It's when you're thinking about a third base that you can actually go for a mineral only over a gas base. Meanwhile, same thing for a Terran player here. A Terran player can expand at this point and possibly just kind of, you know, put a bunker out here if needed. But the thing is, when you expand as a Terran player in the beginning of a game versus Protoss, you think, what are my options? You have, you know, Rax expand and you have Siege expand. You could go with one or two of those variations. Of course, you could also go for maybe Vulture Mine, but let's go with standard either Barracks or Siege mode. Well, Siege mode doesn't really help you as much because you don't have that high ground advantage. So even if you're using your Siege mode here and you have a lifted Barracks to give you kind of like an extended vision, it's just not great for defense of this natural base. So for me, my instinct says a Terran player, maybe a Barracks expand with a bunker at the front is a little bit more reasonable. But let's look at the expansions here. If you want to take an additional gas for your third gas, you either take the 6 or 12, well, which is heavy contention here, or you could take the 9 or 3 o'clock position too, which also retain gases. Okay, and that's this map here. So we're going to go into our first game on Judgment Day, and let's see how these foreign pros move themselves along here. Set this up the fastest mode too. And for those of you coming into on this Brood War Weekly Dagger Foreign Edition, we will be highlighting several players. We have Protect, Zeke, Scan, and I believe True Touch all mixed in for this cast. But of course, starting off with just a Sucker and Pirojanka, I guess is the name of these guys. And look at this, actually going ahead and speaking in a different language here too. Oh, thank you, Modesty, for saying you love the BisuDagger streaming. I'm so happy to be back. I have missed so many days over the past couple weeks. It's really just been tough on me. I had to travel to Seattle, of course, and I went on my spiel last week about my broken laptop from the travel, and all the time that I needed from last week also. If you guys are American, happy Thanksgiving, and if you're not, happy just in general day to you. But last week on Thursday, we had the day off, and Friday was a holiday also. And yeah, that's it. So look at this. So we see the initial pylon coming down. Not too much excitement here. Actually, I just really am focused on Terran and how Terran decides that they want to play this out. This is the most recent replay. And we'll kind of be working our way back in time. But as we work our way back on these replays towards further away dates, it's actually more relevant to when the last games were played in Pro League. And so not too bad. And so we do see that the Barracks is coming down. If this is a fast gas, we got to keep an eye on that and see if the factory is opted for here. I really think that it's just going to be a focus on the Barracks here and a bunker at the front. I like this though, already sending out an SCV to scout. Gonna find that Protoss did spawn, cross spawn down at the bottom left here. You know what I'm thinking? I left these score screens on here. It's not score 0-2. It is obviously a best of 1. So score is 0-0. Let me update that for you guys here too. Okay, so we see the Cybernetics core coming down, and everything is still very standard for this Protoss player. I don't think that you have to go off kilter on this map for Protoss, especially against Terran. As soon as this core is finished, either you could go up to Robotech if you want. When you think about Robotech in terms of drops or maybe Reaver play, I think that Reaver play probably isn't the best. Because you don't have a lot of really good angles, especially in this cross-spawn position, to get a shuttle in and drop the Reaver in pretty good locations. So I'd say opt more for getting the Observer first, getting the range for your Dragoons, and allowing that kind of play to get your Goons in here early and just kind of force a lot of minerals out from the repair of bunkers at the front of the Terran base. The factory is on the follow-up here. So this is a really safe build opening here. Just constantly pumping out Marines on until he gets his first 4, I'd imagine. And then going up towards the factory play off this one really strong 1 base. We can see here that the SCV has made it inside his opponent's space here. I hope you guys are all having a pretty solid Tuesday. My Tuesday has been spectacular. I'm getting towards the end of the week here will be the close of another release of the simulation I work for the Boeing 737. And I am ecstatic for us to have 3 release builds have gone out. Alaska Air, Rio de Janeiro Air, Canadian Air, all the different major airlines across the world are buying into this product, and it's like the most humbling experience ever to know that all these major airlines, Japan Air literally sent an email to our Boeing manager saying that their experience was astounding and that they are also interested in our product for their 787. So that was cool, and I'm just really glad that things in my work life have been going well. Okay, so Spider Mine upgrade on the way, and this is also a very good follow-up too, which is why I said go for Goon range and then get the Observer also, because you want to just be able to deal with the Spider Mines as they start to come out of these Vultures, try and reduce that Spider Mine count. Actually, you guys don't need to see the entire map here, so let's go ahead and sucker that down. Alright, so Sucker's actually moving out here with a set of Marines and a tank to just try and ward off these Dragoons here. I believe, though, yeah, the range upgrade has completed here. So with some decent micro, these Dragoons actually can do some damage. We saw this recently in a Bisu versus Flash match. If you didn't watch that KT Giga match, you gotta watch it. It was a really good matchup between those 2 players. And Bisu's Dragoon micro was like on the level of back when he was playing on Heartbreak Ridge, and there was that famous Vulture Mine micro that you could watch in the YouTube video. It's very, very famous. If you haven't seen it, go search it on YouTube right now. Probably the coolest thing you'll see today. But I feel like the Dragoons did a very good job here. They're just kind of delaying anything that could push across this map at this point here. No more worker has been able to scout out. Vulture's kind of prying around here. So Sucker trying to use his APM to best to his ability. And look at this. So the expansion came to the mineral line. And, you know, what's the advantage that Pyro is actually getting by putting his expansion here instead of at the gas location? Not much. I would love to know if a pro player has a difference of opinion here, but it does look like the follow-up Nexus is going to occur pretty quickly after, and I guess that kind of makes everything okay anyway. So you're not going to go towards Arbiter Tech just that quickly. You only need enough gas so you can constantly produce Goons to deal with any threat like these Vultures that are getting in here. A great move by Sucker, getting these Vultures in, dropping a few Spider Mines down. Is he going to get any, nope. He does not get any scout off inside the main base, but that wouldn't have revealed anything too outstanding to the Terran player. Meanwhile, you can see at the front here, I like this. This is kind of cool. Putting the barracks up here, it floated over from this location, if you forgot it was over there. And now he's adding the engineering bay on to complete the wall. Engineering bay going to be nice for turrets later on. Obviously, no bio upgrades are going to come from that building. Another factory on the way too, and I do like that the expansion for the Terran player came at this location, But you do have the ability, of course, if you build it at this location as a Terran player, to lift and later just take the gas and then build a new command center at the mineral only. Just a lot of options here for the Terran player early on. But we can see that both these players, this is kind of a passive map. If both the players really just want to focus on economy instead of trying to push out. And PvT in general can just be super passive early on, as we're just only 7 minutes and 20 seconds into the game here. This is a decent amount of Dragoons, 6 Dragoons sitting out at the front. And you can get away with only 6, which is just hilarious, because there's no way for the Vultures to get it in pressure. And that's where I start to think about, as a Terran player, what can you actually do to stop this free third Nexus that the Protoss player is getting here? And really, dropship play just comes to mind. There's the possibility of getting a starport pretty quickly. Instead of going to this factory, pump out a couple extra Vultures from this one, build the starport, get a dropship, and then try and get a couple Vultures into the main base, especially when you're playing at this level. And I don't ever try and insult foreign players too much, but, you know, if this player isn't an A or a high B ranked player, maybe their reaction time is a little bit slower, and you can actually get away with Vulture harass more easily playing against, you know, players that aren't at Bisu and Stork level of play. Yeah, that's right. We can start to reference Stork again, because Stork has qualified for the ASL. I couldn't believe it. I didn't think it was possible, but that dude, he is literally just the naturally best player at StarCraft. I mean, it's inarguable here. Oh, I can see something coming around here. That's just the Observer. It blends in with that building. But because Stork, he doesn't practice much, he plays a lot of like World of the Warcraft during Pro League back in the day, yet somehow he still managed to get really good results. And then he went, well, you know, I was playing a lot of World of Warcraft. I realized I was addicted, but I made it to the round of 4, so I decided that I would actually try and win this whole tournament. And then he freaking won. So a really, really good player indeed. It almost like you think that he's really a waste of potential because he did not try harder in the past. World of Warcraft, God, that got to everybody, didn't it? It's the reason why Korea has like bedtimes now. They got to tell kids to stop playing video games so late at night, so they enforce a curfew for kids under 18. It's just hilarious. But you know what? The more and more I grow up and I just see how civilization acts. Oh, look at all these factories. I believe that maybe curfews are the best thing, although I am so anti-regulation. You know, just let people sink, and if they want to play 22 hours of games, then let them play 22-hour games. Let them figure it out for themselves. I did, and look at me turning out fine, right? So Protoss has a 4th base up here, taking the gas and the 9 o'clock. And I generally think that players like to go for the 9 and the 3 o'clock over the 6 and the 12. I think because it's just at this more centralized location here. For Protoss, it'd be a little bit harder to defend at than at one of these corner spots or side wall spots here, where there's nothing that can come in from the left side. You're cutting off potential avenues for drop and harassment, and overall like siege mode can hit from the left and right very easily. But as a Terran player, you can take this base if you want to. And look at that. It looked like Terran wanted to expand here, but couldn't because a pylon was dropped down. Some sneaky play coming from the Protoss Pyro. Okay, so the tank count is getting absurd, right? 10 tanks. But look at all these factories, trying to actually just flush out all the additional minerals that Terran has been getting off these 3 bases. So that's pretty good too here. The Dragoon count is only at 14 at this point in the game. 11 minutes, 14 Dragoons. It's so low. But then you think, okay, oh my god, this has been made up completely with 21 Zealots. 21 Zealots added into the mix. What did I see? An Arbiter flying over here too. So the Arbiter on its way. Only at 59 energy, but still good enough for some small ground engagements without the need for stasis quite yet. Stasis research is on the way though. You can see another Arbiter has been queued up here. And I'm looking for the Forge here. Here we are. The Forge is actually at the natural base. Sorry, I overlooked that one. And yeah. Oh, hello, Get that, LOL. I can't pronounce that one. That's a tough one. Okay, this is the weekly dagger number 12. We're watching Judgment Day here. Yes, a throwback map, and I hope you you can enjoy this. Okay, so lots of zealots pushing out here. The +1 upgrade, what was that? Yeah, +1 should be finishing up very shortly here to help out these zealots as they kind of just face slide against these vultures. The dragoons coming in here too to try to just pair up here. These spider mines are the equalizer, though. If the spider mines do come off, he can kill off tons and tons of vultures very quickly, especially since they run so fast and clump up. Oh, look at that! Very nice micro coming out from Pyro, though. Picking off that spider mine. It shows how map aware these players are. I mean, really, their APM has been pretty high, 238, 188. You can see that they're both doing pretty well here. Oh, we've got an engagement up at the top here. Just one invisible. Oh no, here we are. So the Arbiter's all the way in here. The goons trying to just combat under these vultures, but they know that the spider mines are gonna come up and attack anyway. Oh my god, that was beautiful micro to just kind of zone all of those mines out from all the damage they could potentially do. The vultures in here doing real slow damage against this expansion that's trying to come underway here. We can see a lot of tanks with the aid of this science vessel just camping outside this natural, we'll say. And really, Sucker has a problem setting up this fourth base here, and it needs to happen because the economy is starting to go heavily favored in Pyro's direction here. We can see that finally goons have been added into, up to 22 goons, 2 arbiters in the mix. And where are the Goliaths here? Okay, so Goliaths have been added in. You can see that the +1 has already been finished, and that's what we were looking for, the Hellfire missile upgrade on the way too. So Sucker has everything under control. He's really got this portion of the map on lockdown, and it's gonna take maybe some masterful recalls for these arbiters to really do some damage. And you know, recalls are something that we've seen done really well lately by Protoss players in the professional Korea scene. Especially if you think back to Bisu and Stork's recalls. Man, Stork almost beat Flash in a really good matchup on the Giga match, a 3rd, 4th place placement match that was on Destination. And I was really surprised how difficult Stork made Flash's life before Flash was able to win the game. It seems that the guy who's just you know, impenetrable on Fish is still losing games. Alright, here comes a big move in. Actually, that was a pretty decent stasis. It's only leaving a few tanks behind here. But, oh, so he does get the back tanks too. And there's no zealots, though. This is the problem. A lot of those zealots got lost while they were combating vultures, or they were just way too behind on this army. They need to get to the front. The stasis working against him. And it looks like Sucker's just completely lucking out here, as Pyro is not really microing his units as perfectly as he could. Still, there's a lot of tanks under stasis, and will he have enough units to kill all of them off after it wears away? Oh, this is really tricky, because while I really agree with how well he came in with this approach, I think that having the zealots at the back really killed this push off. Look at the SCVs at the front to help block off these dragoons as the tanks kill off everything, and that was as well defended as it could have gone. And what's going to be the response here for Pyro, who's just lost a majority of his army? You can see that his stats are really low right now. And his army supply is way below Sucker's, and all he did was just position his tanks in this area and nothing else, really. The vultures didn't have a huge impact. It was all about these tanks and a nice spread out position here. I thought that Toss was in a position to win here, but unfortunately not. Been waiting for some SC1. What are some good websites that stream? Well, I'm pretty much one of the only English casters that streams, but I can guarantee you that the ASL will be casted not just by myself and my co-caster Flash for the win, but Tasteless and Artosis are returning to cast StarCraft 1. So if you were really hyped about them in the past, it is awesome that they are returning. So there will be multiple English streams, multiple Korean streams that will be live on Sunday morning. Well, Sunday for me in the morning. And it'll be a lot of fun. Don't miss out on the ASL. with Stork, Flash, Bisu, and Jaedong all competing. I'm really sad, though, that Zero's not competing, considering he is one of the best Zergs. He's top 2 easily. And I guess it's going to be all up to effort and maybe Jaedong to try and represent as Zerg players. But I don't know if Jaedong's quite there yet, although I'm a little bit critical of him. Okay, so coming in from the north here, we do see another stasis does go down. In fact, he gets the Science Vessel, so that's really nice. This is actually helping this army out tenfold here, but still, it does end up getting taken out. This push really can't be slowed at this point. I just feel like the re-macro isn't coming in fast enough. Let's see all these buildings here. High Templars are actually queued up. Oh, that's a cheeky move here. If a few High Templars can be added in here, this could be monumental for the Terran player. Oh, we actually see that there are High Templars in the back here. 77 energy. So some storms can come down. Let's see as soon as the stasis finishes if he's just going to storm it right away. Oh yeah, here comes the storm. Look at that. Why did he storm in stasis? This is brilliant. Oh, how awesome would it be if there was a bug where you could storm? And I know that there's more coming down here at the bottom right, but how awesome would it be if you could storm units and then stasis and capture the storm inside until the units died? Like something buggy like that. That would be brilliant. I mean, if you can land command centers on units to kill them off. By the way, this base, I paused because this base down here is just getting wrecked. Remember earlier I said it's really hard to take the 6 o'clock position and the 9 o'clock because they have siegeable ranges here at these expansions. Hello, Flash for the win, and welcome to the cast and the chat here. Every week I promise you that we can cast together, and then I never set anything up. Maybe a missed break here. We could do that if you'd like. Alright, I believe that we are reaching probably the critical point of this game where Protoss realizes that they have no longer a chance in this game. Look at this. You know, there's a lot of mineral patches actually between the natural and the third base. So even though these have been mined out for the primary portion of this game, really though, without having the 4th or 5th, not an additional gas here, as soon as the Protoss army does get eliminated, then he can't really find anything to re-macro. But Pyro's playing, you know, playing scrappy. He's trying to hang in here. He's fighting his way back, actually clearing out this bottom section too. We can see that, oh, I love this. I love how good Pyro has done against Spider Mines really in this game. It's been pretty solid here. As a player who's just had pretty good map vision, but unfortunately made some really bad engagements. Okay, well, Terran has decided not to take a 5th base in this entire game also. That maybe just having the top right portion is enough for them to win this game. But look at this, 120 supply. Pyro's working his way back. He might be able to take a Nexus here at the 9 o'clock position. And he's got plenty of minerals and gas at that location that can kind of fuel him forward. As long as he can make a modest engagement against the Terran army. It's going to have to really extend this game, though, past this 20-minute mark, which we have just reached. Look at all the vultures that are coming out. I mean, this is just a factory-packed base right here. And that's one of the problems, too, is like there's not a lot of additional space for factories outside of the main base. But you can actually build almost anywhere. Actually, you can, I believe, build anywhere on this map, which is also one of its unique features. This may be not buildable area. I am curious about that. It's always when you get like these weird pathways that they are unbuildable. But you know what? Not many people are trying to land a command center over here, and I'm not familiar with that desert map tile set. Another Nexus coming down here too. I don't know, and maybe with just vultures, this Protoss army can combat it well enough. It's going to come down to some pretty sick storms though, if at all possible. All right, look at this. A nice little minefield clearing out all those zealots on the left. And these tanks are going to easily take down this Nexus. It's going to take, what, maybe 8 hits at this point? Or 10 hits between all these tanks to clear it out. Look at storm engagement here coming from the right side. A stasis did come up, but nope. Oh, Pyro GG's. Asked for a re here. I wonder if they'd end up play another game after this. Alright, so that's kind of the warm-up game to this cast here on Judgment Day. We have 3 more games to go. And I actually have a bonus 5th game if we feel like everything is moving along pretty well here. KT Flash, or Flash for the win. If you want to jump in on this cast, let me know right now. I can play some interim music and get everything set up. Let me see here. I'll just kind of start the same song that I played from the beginning over again.
Hey!
Yo, what's up?
My boy.
Oh man, I would feel so bad if I knocked you down from another cast here.
Well, I mean, I thought we were doing, what's it called? I thought we were doing, Take Manly Saint today. Not doing that anymore?
No. Well, actually, I was preparing to do a different cast, and then I got scheduled with Cardinal All In to cast some more map stuff for him tomorrow. And I was like, God, I don't want to be too analytical today and tomorrow. So I pushed off my PvZ cast until next Tuesday, and I ended up watching the Giga matches. I had to, man. I couldn't surf on Team Liquid anymore without being worried about the results being spoiled.
All right.
Did you watch them?
Take Manly Saint?
Yeah.
I actually watched them live.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you know the beautiful results.
Yeah. It's more like garbage results. Am I right? Ha ha ha.
Man, Flash looked like garbage. That's all I can say. He almost got owned.
He looked pretty bad actually, not gonna lie.
He almost got owned by Stork.
Actually, yeah, he did.
Yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed with Stork, and I was rather surprised. I was disappointed by Flash, to be honest. I'm sure you were too. Also, Stardom, we do have to do a cast one day, because this is part of my BisuDagger and Friends cast, my weekly daggers. So I do have to do the and Friends part, which I don't usually do.
Alright, you're gonna send me the replay file or whatever, or what are we doing?
You could probably just download it. Let me create here.
Is it in, where are they?
Hold on one second, guys. I'm getting this ready to go. Just hang out one more second here. And yeah, just put in the password dagger. I don't care if people know on the stream here. Let's see, replays.
Where am I looking? Or
1 second here. Game name BD, and then game password dagger. Go.
Okay, 1 sec. I guarantee you someone's gonna like stream cheat on you and then like jump into your
stream cheat.
I don't know. I don't know how that works, but all right. Let me get on. Stupid icy cut. So I beat a C- player today as Terran.
Oh, congratulations! Well done.
It's all good. All right. What am I joining?
BD, and then Dagger.
Please be land latency. Oh my, I don't think it's gonna go.
Oh no.
Do you not know how to pour forward? Is your thing pour forwarded?
I can usually host anybody. XKCD and I join on all the time.
That's really weird. That's awkward. Do you want to
host something real quick? Same name.
Me or you?
You, and if once we connect, then I can host.
Okay, I'll just do BD and then password 1. Let me see if that works.
All right.
Game name already exists. Let's take 1 dagger.
All right.
That work? No. Oh my
Hang
God.
out, guys.
What is going on here? We'll do knife as the game name with dagger as the password. Game name already exists again. What is going on here? Hold on.
What's wrong with you?
BisuDagger 69 and then dagger is the password. Does that work? Game name already exists. Alright, yeah, I don't know what's going on my side. Holy shit. If you want, we could do the LAN trick where we all go into like a game together and then immediately leave once we're both in it.
That's what I was trying to do, is the LAN trick.
Okay, here, go to the games, go to like the 3v5. Well, actually no, that's not it. Go to like, I don't know, 999. See if you can join that with me. Unless it's full already. Yeah, it's full. Alright.
Oh, I got in it.
Alright, go. Alright, see if you can. BD dagger.
Do you want me to create the game again?
Yeah, make the game now that we tried that. Let's see if that works.
Okay, I'm just making something random. Oh, it says the game by that name already exists. Oh, no. What the hell?
Weird. Yeah, it does that sometimes. Oh my God, what is going on here? Yo,
you were never meant to cast with me.
I guess I really am not. What the hell is this? Alternatively, you could send me the replay file and I could cast at the same time as you.
Oh, that sounds terrible. I'm not doing that.
And sync it up. Yeah, it seems bad.
All right. Well, I'll see you Sunday. Dude, let me tell you though.
I guess that's fine.
Let me tell you though, while you're on here, so you know, and I was saying this earlier in the cast, is that I have to go to my sister's baby shower on Friday. I'm driving up to North Carolina, and so that's 6 hours away from home, and I'm staying there through Sunday, but I'm staying at the house because I was too cheap to get a hotel, and I can't cast in the house because I'm gonna wake up the entire house. I cast very loud, and so I am bringing a 100-foot Ethernet cable, and I'm going to extend it from the front door into my vehicle, and I'm going to cast from my vehicle. I'm gonna like recline the seat, have my microphone up on the dashboard, and I'm gonna bring a camera too, so you guys can see how like redneck this is. And
you are so committed, dude.
Dude, I'm a champ. And you know what? It's probably going to be like 20 degrees while I'm up there too, like 25, 30 degrees outside in the middle of the night because it's going to be so early. I mean, this is going to be hilarious.
Dude, you're hardcore, dude. I would never be able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't own an 100-foot extension cord either though, so.
You always have to be ready with a 100-foot extension cord in case you need to cast from weird places.
Alrighty. Well, what time is it? Your time on Sunday, or is it
5 a.m. I believe.
Or Monday morning.
I believe it's 5 a.m. Sunday morning, so it should be 2 o'clock for you.
5 a.m. Sunday, so 2 o'clock for me. God, I don't know if I should just stay up for that or should go take a nap before that.
Oh, just stay up and drink lots of Red Bull, 5-hour energy, mix them all together, make a cocktail.
See, I have to actually drive because I live at a apartment near my school, but I actually have a house over here as well. I just hate commuting, so I have to like drive all the way over to my house so I can use the internet there because I don't want to wake up my roommate.
Yeah, what's with living with people that you have to worry about waking up? Thank God my wife sleeps like a brick. She's in the other room. I turn on a really loud fan, and I'm across the house.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I hope maybe I'll just live back at home next year, and then I don't have to worry about like people. But
yeah.
Anyways, well, I'll figure it out what I'm gonna do for the cast, and everyone is going to be happy because we're gonna have an awesome cast.
That's right, man. All right, we'll catch up. We'll catch up later. And if you want to jump on for tomorrow's cast, we'll figure this out for tomorrow. I'm doing the cast same time tomorrow night for Cardinal All-Ins maps.
What time? 5 or 6? 6, right?
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock. 9:15 for me.
All right. Well, I'll set a notification on my phone for that.
Okay.
Alrighty, I'll see you then.
Later.
Love you. Bye.
All right, I just got some love from Flash for the win. And yes, I should suggest Monster instead of Red Bull because they are the official sponsors of Team Liquid. Let's not waste any more time, guys. We're going into game number 2. And yes, we're on the map, Judgment Day. Look at this. There's no data information at the top. What's going on here? Now, this is one of those weird scenarios, too, with this map, because they have the Observer, but the Observer's, you know, just floating the command center away. I guess this is, yeah, a different version of the map. So, again, let me put this at the fastest speed. We're watching a ZVT, and since we have a different dynamic here, I'm going to go ahead and reveal the map one more time, so we could go into discussion about Zerg players and what they feel like they would do on this map. So as a Zerg player, it's really nice because you can get 2 free close bases. And you can get one of them with a gas. It's always important, you know, to identify where you can get your second and your third gas. So as a Zerg player, they can expand here, and they can expand here. And you may actually, if you're wanting to go gas light, which you don't want to in ZVT, at least with the current game of play, and then you're actually going to want to expand here so you can get your mutas out and mine from this gas, if you're definitely going to be going off those 2 bases. But once you take this one, you get your macro hatchery at this location, and this is where you're going to actually start building your Sim City once you get your 3rd hatchery out. But you got to think, okay, as a Zerg player, you actually have to take a 3rd gas somewhere. But how far away do you want to take that 3rd? You don't have the ramp advantage with lurkers, but of course you can still put lurkers behind here. It's just not as effective. So this is a really tough spot that Zerg players have to be in. So if you can't defend long distances with lurkers, then maybe you take the closer gas at the 6 o'clock or even the 9 o'clock location. I think maybe the 9 o'clock is worse, in the sense that it opens you up towards the top of the map where his opponent is over here at the top left. But this location is also bad once tanks come in and once dropship play is available to the Terran player. This is tough. We're just going to have to watch how this game progresses here. Especially when we're watching a good player such as Scan play as Zerg. Of course, you guys know Scan. He plays as a Terran player. He's played as Zerg in the past, and he's just infamous across the scene. So let me tell you something. If you go by Elite Speak, this the player at the top left, the Terran player, is Protect because of the 7 in there. But for me, I always called Protect Project in my head for like the longest time because I just really thought thought it was a cooler way of saying the name, but I guess Protect is kind of neat too. And Yoda here, if you guys don't know, Yoda used to be this old Russian caster. He's retired from the scene, but another really badass dude who has contributed a ton towards StarCraft 1, more than I could ever do for this scene. So really big props to Yoda for just having a random appearance in this scene. You know, this could be like an old Defiler map, really, or matchup here. So we see that the spawning pool is coming down with the overpool style play here, which is still very popular today. And I want to sign that tour. Maybe this is the Defiler tour that I was talking about, or something else similar. And on the other side here, we're seeing the barracks come up, gas behind this here too. And you know, what does Protect want to do in terms of expanding in this game? It's a pretty easy expansion, whether he wants to take the natural base at the mineral only here, or take the gas expansion. Either one should be well protected. In fact, you know, getting the quicker access to the gas really makes me think that he's going to take the gas natural. The SCV already going for a cross-spawn scout here too. Maybe just because he hasn't seen an Overlord pop up quite yet. And here comes the initial natural hatchery that's coming up from Scan. So maybe he's getting the 4 natural hatchery just to have like the extra larva, I guess, at the front to maybe go like Zergling heavy early on in this game. But you can see that, you know, most Zerg players actually go overpull really just against a Protoss player. But going overpull here on a flat map where there's no ramps and there's holes in the front base here will allow these Zerglings to possibly do some damage. So if there's not enough Marines in the right locations here, the Zerglings can just sneak their way in. Alright, and Skin's gonna go for it. Wow. Okay, so he's already got, what, 5, 6 Zerglings inside this base right now. He's chasing down these Marines, and these Marines in a really bad spot. The SCV trying to come in here to try and clog up more potential Zerglings coming in here, but Protex looks like he's in a lot of trouble. Scan is doing a great job of already just bringing down the harassment here. And, you know, when you think about the mid to late game can be really tough for a Zerg player, why not just try and win in the early game here? And that's exactly what's going for him right now. Scan has access to all of the SCVs at this point. And the SCVs, how many are going to be left after this? We can see that 14, 13 now. Oh, wow. He really just cut that countdown. But with this Vulture out, that'll at least help him eliminate any more Zerglings that do try to make it in. On the flip side here, we do see that the expansion here at the gas expansion almost completed here too. It's really important, I think, and why Scan put this hatchery here, and why my initial instinct was put the hatchery at this location, is to have the creep extend. Because you want to put your sunken colonies at good spots to defend against either early game Marines, these vultures that could potentially poke in here can be a nuisance, and so he had to build a really close sunken colony. But in the future, he can start to build sunkens further away, out more at the choke point here. We can see actually using the Hydrogen as part of this future wall that's going to help him stave off any Terran units. So looking at this too, the lair halfway done. This is looking like it's going to be some sort of Hydra Lurker style build instead of Mutas. And Mutas really aren't that strong on this map either. They can be defended rather easily at this location here. And, you know, you only need a couple Mutas to defend the top left location for this Terran base. Or you only need a few turrets to defend this top left here. Okay, so we can see that... So, Protect's still alive right now. He's really trying to catch up in this worker count too. He's back up to 20 SCVs. And just think, he was really at nearly 20 SCVs before those Zerglings ran in. So, it's taken him quite a bit of time. And it's delayed the possibility of an expansion or, you know, an additional command center here. He's really just going for a heavy factory build off of one base. And this is not common. This is really just something that you don't see quite that often. But because he has recognized that this is going to be a Hydra Den play, and really Hydra Lurker, now that the lair has been finished up, I wonder how quickly we're going to see that Lurker aspect research come down. And so what he's doing is he's going to combat that with Goliaths that are pretty good versus Hydralisks. Meanwhile, the natural gas has been taken here. Pretty heavy mining going on the gas, trying to get that up ready to go for when he does go for the Lurker transition. No, he's going Spire. He's going Mutas. And I guess these Goliaths are going to be great for Muta style too. I guess the Hydras were for some early defense here. And maybe just to throw off his opponent here. But when you see that the Spires coming down, you know, it's just a huge possibility off these two bases here. Or, you know, a couple bases that Mutaplay is going to start to kick into gear. But how well against these Goliaths? The range upgrade is on the way. Protect is reading this perfectly. And this is going to look like one of those old school maps that old school games that you'd see with Boxer, where he would play against a Zerg player and he'd go really heavy with his Goliaths. And pretty exciting games, really. Your micro has to be pretty phenomenal against Goliaths, especially with their range. They can just carve away at that Mutaflock pretty easily. So this has been a pretty proficient Vulture here, already getting 3 kills. And we can see that the Mutas finally spawning out of these larvae, already up to 7 Mutalisks. And the additional hatchery, look at this. Additional hatcheries are actually coming down at this natural base here, the mineral only. And this is huge because Scan doesn't have a good opportunity to expand to one of the bases where there's a gas. He has to make sure that he actually does some damage with the mutas, weakens any force that could potentially push out for Protect. But it's okay that he hasn't taken a fourth, purely because Protect hasn't taken 8 additional command center. And this is almost going to be all in at a certain point here. I mean, we're only 8 minutes into the game, but we're really starting to see that there's not a lot of potential for expanding, for moving on as a Terran player if you stay off on one base for so long, when Zerg is taking advantage of 3 bases and all the extra gas that he gets with the natural base. So these mutas here kind of stacked. Look at that. He actually couldn't see over that ridge. You would think, oh, they're right there. That should have been easy vision, easy kills by these Goliaths. But the mutas were just right on the other side, and the Goliaths clearly have bad vision when looking up into the air. So these clunky units moving forward. This looks like a, you know, an old RoboCop movie when you watch Goliaths. I feel like if anybody complains about graphics, it's the clunky Goliaths that really get me. Don't get me wrong though, I still love it. I still love this game, and I would never complain about the graphics. I think that they are very defined units and they look awesome, but they look old school and clunky too. Okay, so Scan coming out here with his micro. Now remember, Protect is one of the better Terran players in the foreign scene. So Scan here, it's not going to be an easy win for him. He's still going to have to micro pretty well here. And these Goliaths are getting some pretty good shots off, patting up these mutas here. Wow, look at that. They're almost getting trapped in here. A lot of damage coming down. And the mutas are just going to have to escape down towards the bottom and, you know, live for another day here. Oh, look at this hidden Overlord. I like this too. So a lot of Zerg players love to hide Overlords on these just little platforms here across the map. And also over here at this location. And so what you'll see is like a good Terran player, as they move out, they will scan on top of here to see if there's an Overlord, and it's definitely worth the scan if they can get a quick kill, you know, and hurt the count. So with all these extra hatcheries here, it is a lot of Hydras that are going to be built out inside of this base here. And how are they going to be able to effectively get outside this choke point? This is going to be really tough. But engaging too closely here with these Goliaths, he's going to have to move back. Protect in a really bad spot here. And look at this. The Hydra's just going to work, eliminating everything so easily. Oh, these tin cans just got destroyed. And in a 10-minute game, we see Scan GG. All a result of some really good early overpull play. All right, so that's game number 2, and I don't know if I've sold you yet on Judgment Day, because both of the games, you know, one's been a walkover and the other one was really kind of a really passive PvT. So hopefully our next game can kick some things into gear. I know that we have, I believe, True Touch next. Oh, let's see for the load, man. Okay, True Touch versus Love.Boom, so another ZVT. Wonder how this one's going to pan out here. Let's go ahead and jump into this next game. I know I wasted your time between game number 1 and game number 2. So let's just keep the party rolling. This was throwing me off because of the GNSL before True Touch. Alright, game number 3, guys. Welcome to the Weekly Dagger. Tomorrow I will be casting Cardinal All-In's new map. This will be a huge map reveal. A new one to the foreign scene, to the StarCraft community. So I really hope that you guys can participate in watching the best of series that I will have for you guys tomorrow night. And then I will be casting more Korean replays come Thursday. And then the ASL will be casted by me and Flash for the win on Sunday. I think it's so hilarious that, I don't know, there's some talk going on here. I was afraid that someone was about to leave the game. So I think it's so hilarious that me and Flash for the win end up being casters together, because both of us are just blatant like fanboyism names, and not very good like caster names or anything good for trying to be a streamer or anything prominent. But you know what? BisuDagger, as redundant as it is, Flash for the win, as redundant as that is, it's cool. We are matching up as the top Protoss and top Terran, and it makes it fun. I love that we go at each other too. We really have a good dynamic going on between each other. If you guys didn't watch any of our ASL casts in the past, we actually did StarCraft 2 casts. We pretty much just got drunk and watched like some Chinese StarCraft 2, and we're like, hey, let's just cast this because no one else is. So we've gone to the dark side for a little bit, and that was kind of fun. Okay, so let me get a quick water break and then jump right into what's going on in this game. Okay, so we can see down at the bottom right, our Zerg player has a spawn that will be True Touch. Still playing as one of the top Zerg players this day. So if anybody, True Touch is really one of those top competitors. He's been around for so long now. Everybody should recognize his name. And if you have not, then now you're aware. True Touch is a baller. Now, Love.Boom, I believe was a good player back in the day, but I'm not really familiar with the games that Love.Boom plays in these days. But we do have him here on Judgment Day, opening up with a Bio style build, and so I'm glad that we're seeing Bio over the mech that we saw from Protect, and Protect actually is a player that mechs a lot versus Zerg players. And one of the reasons why I like casting his games is because we can expect mech from him. But seeing Bio on this game, and this is a much more standard opening, the pull following later, the 12th hatch with the hatchery at the gas. So this is a great example. Oh God, you guys can't see shit, can you? All right. Oh man. Guys, I'm so sad sometimes. Thank you, Stack Overflow. Alright, so let's bring everything back online here. So what you've missed is that True Touch decided to go for a 12 hatch here, and he took the expansion at the gas. I could start the cast over if you guys like, but you know, I assume that anybody who's watching this from VODs can just skip forward to this point. No editing needed. But it's nice to see the Bio coming out here too. The 2 racks early on, he's constant production here before getting an additional command center. I like this too, trying to get out the necessary Marines in case a follow-up to the 12 hatch was a decent amount of Zerglings. You really just got to be cognizant about that. Of course, if this was an overpull, the Lings would have already been inside, and the damage may have been done at this point. But Boom knows. Boom is aware of what's going on in this game, even without getting his SCV all the way over to Scout down at the bottom right. We can see, though, that the Lings are in a pretty good position here to actually call up this SCV. This is going to be close. Is he going to be able to get it in? No, the scouting has been denied over and over here. The SCV really can't juke out any harder, and it's best to just go home. Really, one more hit, right? So, perfect 5 would actually kill that out. I like that about Zergling damage, if you didn't know. Without upgrades, it's just a nice round 5 number. Makes it easy to do the math on other units. Of course, we got 6 from the Gauss rifles, right? So look at this. Firebat coming out along with the medics. Off this 2 racks, I imagine because there's no expansion here, that Boom is going to actually come out with some early game pressure. And we're going to have to see a few Sunken Colonies come up here for True Touch if he wants to defend. Immediately, the hugging Sunken Colony does drop down right against this hatchery here. And a second Creek Colony is on the way too. So he is anticipating some heavy pressure off this 2 racks early on here. Appears there was a pause. Don't be confused by the left side here. And so these Marines and the 1 medic, I think that's the one problem here that we are going to see, is that with just 1 medic here, it's not going to be quite enough. And I think that this will be defended pretty easily for True Touch. Get ready for the stim to come in here, though. Again, that's the other thing. If you do stim, the medic has a huge amount of work to do to heal off all those Marines. I like this from True Touch, though. He's being ballsy right now. He's sending his Zerglings over to poke in and see if he can pick off any units, or maybe try and get in all the way inside the main to pick off SCVs. A nice quick kill on that Firebat, running away once the Firebat did focus on the actual Zergling force here. And this is not going to... look at all the Zerglings escaping! They are getting all the way absolutely outside of this again. And Boom doesn't know what to do here. He can't really gauge the situation, but it seems like this force is going to be non-threatening at this point in the game. Meanwhile, the Zergling's coming in here to pick off the Marines, pick off the medics. The Firebat's too far away, and it's running away scared. Oh, man. Do not sign that guy up to fight for my military, because he was not brave indeed. True Touch is just kind of having his way here. Are we going to see Zerg win 2 games in a row? No way. Clearly, Zerg OP on Judgment Day here. And Terran having a bad game indeed. Only 6 minutes in, and it looks like we'll see a GG very shortly here. The stim does happen here. Look at all the sunken defenses. True Touch knows this is the only way he can lose. And so he puts down all these sunkens, easily defended. And that was a quick game. GG. Basically, you guys didn't see half the game because of my wonderful stream skills. I came into this cast a little unprepared. I hope you guys can bear with me. My Korean cast will be good. Tomorrow's cast will be good. I promise you, it'll be run a little bit smoother than this. All right, scene number 10. All right, and we do have the game up here too, so right away we'll know. Zeke versus Best Noob. Now, when you think of Zeke, and this is actually Zeke Prime, in case you guys didn't know, this is literally his best year probably in foreign StarCraft, and he's playing against someone who deemed himself the noob. Let's go ahead and go for it. All right, you're watching Weekly Dagger number 12. I am your host, BisuDagger, and I welcome you to this cast. Down spawning at the bottom right-hand corner, we will have our Protoss player, Best Noob. And down at the bottom left, we're going to have our Zerg player, Zeke. And a little bit of a warm-up here for the ASL cast coming Sunday. Just got to keep the gears going. Really important that you just cast regularly and see StarCraft. So that way you can kind of make notes of things that you see in quirks from players. We have weird maps for the ASL though. It's not just Fighting Spirit and Circuit Breaker. If anybody knows the exact maps and can paste them in the chat, that'd be helpful. So I can just list them off. But right now I don't have the time to just switch over. Or do I? Alright. We can see the probe coming out here. I'm setting up a pylon down out at the front here. And PvZ is a matchup that we haven't watched today. But you have a wide area that is, I believe, unblockable with a wall. You can't fully wall this off. You're going to have points where Zerglings can get through. And maybe 1 or 2 probes that have to fill in those gaps to prevent Zerglings if they do want to run in. Now here we are seeing the Overlord spawning pool. So Overpool build has been the choice by this Zerg player, Zeke. Zeke has phenomenal Zergling control. So we've seen great Zergling pressure in the early games to win against Terran players in our past 2 games from True Touch and Scan, who have also been notably the best players in the foreign scene. But now with Zeke here too. I mean, against a Protoss player, how good is his Zergling control going to be? It's going to be really important though that as a Protoss player, he scouts in, identifies, you know, how much pressure is going to come out here, the ling timing, seeing that it's overpull, and makes sure that he gets enough cannons down. And I would say that 2 cannons actually need to be made. Maybe cannon, Nexus cannon. That's generally the avenue of choice here. But at least getting 1 cannon down at the front, very, very important here. A gateway also. You could go cannon, gateway, and then either Nexus or cannon from that too. Having the gateway kind of block off the front is always helpful. Oh, but we do see that the 2 cannon configuration has been chosen by Best Noob, who has not lost to one of the greatest foreign players of all time quite yet. Oh, I like this too. Look at the pylon, like just a cheeky block here, preventing that drone from getting out, but the Zerglings do kill it off here, and the expansion of this hatchery does go down. The Lings are out though, and where are the Lings going? Kind of at this weird location. I guess trying to go in a roundabout way across the map. That or Zeke really hasn't actually figured out where his opponent is, despite the way the probe kind of scouted its way in. And, you know, if you're in the right position here, you can see the angle of the probe as it goes in to the base. But look at this. The gateway at the front still No, okay. The Nexus here has been dropped at the gas at the back, and I actually agree with this more. Why put the Nexus here? The Nexus only just adds to kind of clutter for the Protoss player. So if you wanted to add more cannons, you can literally add them anywhere, and of course kill them off if you needed to. But it just really helps, you know, for your units too that need to defend at the front location. Having the Nexus at the back gives it access to gas and frees up space. So two very big things that you're gaining from having the Nexus at this location. Meanwhile, we can see that Zerg is just going to expand to both bases relatively easy, and this is just a perfect map in ZVP in regards to Zerg. And as that the hatchery finishes up here, what are we going to see from Zeke? He's already got the lair on the way. Going to be really important that he does get the Spire up, of course, with the Scourge out, so he can get the proper scouts out and deal with Corsairs if Corsair tech does happen. But again, this is a pretty modest amount of workers coming on right now. 18 probes have been constructed. Only 2 photon cannons. And how long do you actually keep your 2 probes out here? Because you're losing a decent amount of minerals by not having those additional workers help at the mineral line. And I would have preferred that maybe an earlier Zealot, instead of actually having 2 probes here, would have been more beneficial when you think about weighing the benefits of having the probes help out your economy. So instead, there's now a probe scouting, a later Zealot to block off this wall, and this probe will finally be relieved of duty very shortly. The Cybernetics core is late. It's because this Nexus has been allowed. So this is a fast 3 bases for Best Noob, but I'm really worried because he's not going to have a lot to deal with anti-air. If Zeke had gone for an additional extractor here and wanted to go for a Muta style build, he would have a field day against Best Noob. Now you can see that the second extractor is dropped down here. And, you know, it's not uncommon for at least the natural gas to be taken in a PVZ. And look at this, the Spire is on the way. So Zeke, he's really got to kind of get a feel for it. If he can somehow get a Overlord, which you can bring an Overlord over here to, oh, here it is, sorry. So he does have the Overlord, and he's going to see that this there is mining already at this location. How did he get this space? So Best Noob is trying to compensate for having the lack of air, not having the Corsairs, by going for Dragoon range. And even though he does have the Stargate on its way, it's not going to be enough. He's actually also going to compensate by getting an additional Stargate. So this is going to be double Corsair production. And let me make sure this is range. No, it's +1. I'm sorry. I clicked on it. But he's actually not going goon range. He's actually going +1 attack here. Actually, should look at the screen every once in a while. So double Corsair production with +1. So that's going to help him really get back into this anti-air mode that he needs to be in if Zeke does decide to go for Mutas, which you can see here has been the unit of choice. So off these 4 bases now, and if Zeke wanted to, he could actually take this additional gas. Oh, look, that's what he's going to do. And just, you know, throttle up the Muta production by having this additional extractor being mined from here. He's actually sending additional drones, not just to mine minerals, but to help mine this gas here, since larva production is slow at that single hatchery. So the Mutas are out. And Zeke is an amazing ZVZer, probably one of the top 5 foreign ZVZers of all time. Someone try and argue that with me. And so the Mutas getting stacked up in here, and this control, I imagine, is going to be just absolutely perfect here. Can Best Noob, yeah, Best Noob actually, instead of bringing some units over, which he really doesn't have, is going to have to withdraw probes to static defenses for right now. Zeke not taking too many risks, though, running away, seeing how many Corsairs there are, and Scourge are really going to have to be added in. Look at that, 4 Scourge already brought into this count here, and as the Mutas drag themselves into the middle, here comes the engagement. Best Noob has to have the best micro possible to survive this. The Mutas are really trying to get as many hits off as they can. The Corsairs need to run to the cannons to help defend themselves. And I would say overall that was rather successful by Zeke, who was just trying to hunt down this Air Force of Best Noob. All right, so 8 Mutalisks in this flock right now. Still just slow to get a lot of mutas because honestly, he hasn't been mining from a 3rd extractor for that long, and he's just now really starting to kick his economy into gear. Chased away by that cannon. Look at this. Best Noob is really playing into his advantages, which is having these extra mineral patches to mine from with this basically free 3rd base early on in the game. It's so hard for a Protoss to stop a Protoss player from getting this early game economy here, and we're seeing that the Mutas and Scourge just aren't getting the job done. Can the Corsairs be baited though? Can they be baited out? That's going to be really critical here. These Mutas are taking away these cannons, and as soon as the cannon... I think Zeke should have stayed on that cannon. If he had eliminated it, it would have forced the hand here, and the Corsairs would have had to come over. +1 already completed. Let's see. It's just going to stick at +1 here. Not worth the upgrade to get the +2 here, as the Corsairs do try and chase down and kill off these Mutas. So behind this, what's Zeke going to do? Is he just going to sit all day? Oh my god, he's going for double upgrades on the Spire because he does have that additional 3rd gas. So he's got the +1 carapace almost completed here, but he's got to run these Mutas around for as long as possible to keep them alive while his upgrade needs to finish. Oh, a lot of Scourge hitting off here, but nothing really died. So that was a really bad engagement here. These Corsairs are really combating Zeke, and he is not finding an avenue for winning. Not a lot of ground forces here, though. 8 Corsairs, a lot of cannons, 7 cannons, but not many Zealots, and these Zealots just don't have much going for them. +1 just now finishing up. Where's the Citadel of Dune? Okay, and Templar Archives also finished here, too. So Best Noob finally, you know, is in his mid-game transition here. He's getting all the proper tech to really off 3 bases start to push out. Look at the Corsairs here trying to engage with the Scourge. The Scourge do chase them back here. Some pretty good micro so far. The Mutas do poke in here, get a few kills, but really they are drawn back one more time, and these Corsairs do survive again. And with the 2 Stargate production, it's almost unfair. You can see that Zeke really not getting far in this game. So +1 coming for the attack. The +2 carapace also on the way. And this is probably one of the biggest commitments to air that I have seen by a Zerg player, despite the fact that the Corsair work by Best Noob has been so good in this game. Really hard to comprehend why Zeke has really committed to going for this build for so long. But look at this count, 17 Mutalisks. The one thing that the 17 Mutalisks can do is shut down any Zealot play pretty quickly, because their air to ground and those giant numbers can kill units off pretty quickly. Now, High Templar really can't move out either, because High Templar are so low in health and shields that they can get picked up right away. Well, look at this. Zeke's going to be able to pick off this potential expansion for Protoss right away. So really the High Templar are great for defense though, and if one storm could come off on these High Templar, or on the Muta, that would really help Best Noob here. But so many Mutas are coming into this 3rd base here, and the Pro's actually having to be run away too. A lot of them getting picked off here. What is the Pro count? 58. Off 3 bases, 58 probes, that's wonderful. That's a great count to have, so not too much damage really been taken at this point here. A storm does go off! A lot of the Mutas getting killed here. Zeke not having the best control right now. The Corsairs, along with that High Templar storm, really have dealt a blow to the Muta flock here. And from 17 down to 10, it looks like Best Noob is going to continue to be in a great position. But Zeke behind this, with all the pressure that he's been able to do with the Mutas, is now not just having a 4th base with all these macro hatcheries, but he now has a 5th base at the top left where he is taking another base. This is going to be really tough for Best Noob. He hasn't been able to pressure at all in this game. He's done nothing to Zeke's economy, and all he's really done is kill off a lot of Mutas. But they are growing up once again. Welcome, Ending Life, to the cast here. Yes, this is Zeke versus Best Noob on Judgment Day. As we're 13 minutes into the game, a full committal to Mutas. Look at this. Look, he's got 2 Spires. I believe that is +2. That's on the way. +2 carapace is already finished. And really, it's done so much because Best Noob has had to invest in a ton of cannons. He's had to invest in a lot of Corsairs. But look at this. Are we going to see the Maelstrom go down? Another engagement with the Mutas here. Where is the Dark Archon? It needs to come in here and lock down the Mutas so quickly here. A storm goes off, and that was actually a pretty good storm, getting a lot of surface area on these Mutas as they back off once more. What's the energy level? Only at 88. If only we knew what energy it took for the Maelstrom, but we don't see Archons enough, do we? Alright, so the Mutas back off one more time. +2 about to finish. Wait, what happened to +2? Or is that +2 right here? And it looks like he may have canceled it. But he is going towards the Greater Spire now. And why you want to go towards Greater Spire? Because, oh, lots and lots of awesomeness comes from the Greater Spire. Let's just put it there. So all the Zealots and the Dragoons that have been made over the past couple minutes now trying to push forward here and apply pressure towards this base. So hard to get into these bases though. It's really easy to make some pretty good sim cities on Judgment Day here. As you can see, this is a very defensible spot. But this Dark Archon at the front with its 200 shields is literally just a meat shield as it tries to soak up the oncoming attacks. I do like it though. It's got the energy right now. So if the Mutas come by, they're going to be in a lot of danger. This is going to be Best Noob's one shot here. Is he going to be able to do it? He almost has energy for a storm too. So Mutas, they better watch out. Meanwhile, they are getting ready to poke in towards the right side. Yes, we're going to see it. Is it all Guardians though? Is it all Guardians? Yes. The Cocoon's on the way. The morphing has begun. There's going to be so much trouble here. The Corsair count. Wow, the Corsair count has been eliminated too. So there's nothing to deal with the air here. There's no anti-air really, except for Dragoons and High Templar with storms. And this defense has been monumental for Zeke, who is just going with the massive hold down here. Look at this. The shots going off. Flying siege tanks. 20 + 2 damage coming out per attack, and this is just massive. And look at that. We've got more spawning. This is an easily gone base right now. An expanded nexus at this location at the 6 o'clock. But is it going to be enough here? He lost a key base. There's still plenty of gas to be mined at this location. And where are the Corsairs? No Corsair production here. So it's literally going to have to come down to storms. And now we can see that Devourers have been added in with the Guardians. And if you guys don't know about acid spores, they are something else. In fact, if you are a Wraith and you go invisible after you have been acid spored, well, you're stuck visible because that's how awesome that goo is. So yeah, this army's just kind of backed its way off, kind of floated towards the middle of the map, and I guess maybe it's just Zeke's way of trying to regather itself and engage on the strong Protoss army. Look at that massive Maelstrom! Look at this! Is he gonna get the storm off? Here comes the storm! Oh, it doesn't last very long, does it? It's nothing like a stasis here. But still, he was able to catch a lot of Guardians off guard. And wow, this game is turning into something else, isn't it? So Zeke on 5 bases. We can see that Best Noob is on 3 bases. He is pushing forward right now. 84 supply to 155. This is a risky game indeed. The Zealot's coming up with +2 attack, +2 armor. So Best Noob looks like he's in a pretty good position right now to take the game. But the resilience of Zeke, don't count it out. He's still got a pretty good defense here at home that he might be able to hold on to. He's wasted so much though into upgrades of Mutalisk, into you know, the morphing, and into all those Guardians. And now we can see that he doesn't really have anything here to defend. Where's the Defiler to defend? And how did that Dark Archon somehow make it to the left side of this base? This is amazing. It's just kind of running its way around here as a, you know, just a passerby, an observer. Need I say more? And Zeke might end up losing this game. Protoss clearly superior, clearly to Imba for the Tyrant to win here. And he is going to be taken out very shortly if he doesn't have anything else available to him to help him win this game. Look at these Zerglings coming in here, though. If these Zerglings can take out these Dragoons, then there might be hope for Zeke. I mean, this wasn't a critical base. So what has he lost so far? A few drones, all his static defenses at this location, a couple of Evo chambers. But really, he did lose that carapace upgrade. He still has some key bases. He still has all his gas bases. If somehow he could gather up all his military units together in another decent attack, then the remacro from Zeke might be able to hold him through this game. But so many High Templar coming through here. Now this is where it starts to get critical. Where are the Ultralisks? Are Ultralisks on the way? Seriously? Seriously? So the Ultralisk upgrade, getting that extra armor, gonna be pretty close here. And I think that these Zealots should just try and focus on the cavern right now and not let the upgrade finish. All right. So the spawning pool actually getting taken out is another key structure here too. And I think maybe just with losing his spawning pool, he might call it. Here comes the Ultralisk though. The single Ultralisk as a hero. Is Zeke even going to do anything with it? Getting so close. Is he going to at least get one kill? Oh no! The cow dies. The cow dies and he will not be the hero. Watching that hive tech go down too. All these Ultralisks coming from this base location though. This is never end for Zeke. He's got too many ultras right now to let this game go away. Oh, and hello, Fear the Queen has just joined the chat. I actually don't know what the official date is for this game. I'll pull this up for you afterward if you want to know. But Fear the Queen will be playing in one of my casts tomorrow, where I do the Cardinal All-Ins map reveal, and so that's gonna be pretty fun to cast his games on that. Would like an explanation to Fear the Queen as a name. That would be a fun little thing to add to the cast tomorrow when I talk about you. Alright, so much coming out here. Look at all these Zerglings. What are they doing over here? Well, okay, so the cows are going to engage right now. There are no Dark Swarms. Look at the lockdown! These storms! Oh, this is the Wombo combo here. Going crazy. Oh, I've never seen Ultralisk look so useless in my life against Protoss. That was disgusting. Alright, GG. Zeke defeated by Best Noob. Wow, what a game. What a game. Alright, and I believe that this is played from 2011 during one of the Defiler tournaments. Maybe 134? I don't know how many Defilers there are at this point. There might be literally 134. But yeah, so if you guys missed today, my earlier games are Sucker versus Pyrojunka, Protect versus Scan, True Touch versus Love Boom, and now Best Noob versus Zeke. That's going to be it for the day. So tomorrow I will have a best of 3 or best of 5 cast, whatever you guys do, on that new map for Cardinal All-In, and then Korean matches on my Brood War Weekly for Thursday. Hope to see you guys soon. Everybody take care, and thank you for watching. Again, I'm BisuDagger, and have a good rest of the night.